breaking news tonight. Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul.
Star Sean P. Diddy Combs is under arrest for a fight with a UCLA football coach. The actor, singer, and producer is accused of assault with a deadly weapon.
Sean Combs asks for bail again as the judge presiding over his case shuts down one of his requests to stop people in the case from talking.
Diddy has to be the biggest Hollywood gangster in modern times, and the worst thing is that people just ignored it because they were afraid. From attacking a music executive so he could have his way, allegedly masterminding the end of Tupac, to allegedly punching Drake, not to mention all his recent lawsuits, Diddy managed to create an alleged criminal empire all by being a popular musician, and for decades he stayed on top through violence and fear. Y'all join me today as we look into the dark side of Sean Diddy's Combs and why people were so afraid of him for years.
You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time. You know.
Now, in order to understand Diddy, we have to go back to the very beginning, because even though all the stories and allegations about what he has done are just coming out, as many people in the industry have been rumored to say, Diddy has been a person to stay away from for a very long time. You see, Diddy was born and raised in Harlem. His mother was a model and teacher's assistant while his father served in the US Air Force. Now, ever since an early age, Diddy was already connected to one of America's most notorious gangsters, the one and only Frank Lucas. You see, Diddy's dad and Frank Lucas were close associates, and because of that, one thing led to another, and Diddy's dad ended up getting shot while Diddy was still 2 years old. Now, Diddy grew up facing some extreme challenges after that. After his dad passed away, his mom was left to raise him and his sister without very much help, and because of that, they struggled to get by with the little they had. But Diddy was a resilient guy, and he had a life that he wanted for himself, and he damn sure worked to get it. Growing up, Diddy would excel in school, and this would open a path for him to go to Howard University. However, Diddy didn't exactly like to lose. Ever since a young age, he had a competitive spirit, and as we all know, life doesn't always go your way. And when that happened to Diddy, he would always get angry, and he would huff and puff because of that. That quickly earned him his nickname Puff.
I got my MTV out.
Savage! I'm a savage! Oh! I'm a savage! Whatever I want, I'm going to get! Whatever I want, I have to get!
Fast forward to 1990, and Diddy had already carved out a path for himself. He had landed an internship at Uptown Records, where he worked as a talent director and helped bring up big names like Mary J. Blige.
Go to see tonight, Mary J. Blige and Father MC. And all put together by first this man in the middle here, and then he passed it on to, I guess, his son. Protege. Yes. Puffy. Yes. Tell me a little bit about this man and why you like working with him.
Because, you know, he's not intimidated by you, you know what I'm saying? He knows the importance of leaving a legacy behind. Because we need more adults out there that's going to teach the young, such as myself, and, you know, basically leave a legacy behind, leave something behind.
This path came naturally to Diddy because while he was in college, he had a reputation for throwing huge parties that would draw a crowd of thousands of people. So scouting entertaining talent came easy to him.
Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life.
Now, at this point, it was pretty clear that Diddy had his eyes set on being one of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. But little did anybody know the extreme lengths Diddy was willing to go to achieve this goal. You see, ever since Diddy entered the entertainment business, he has always been surrounded by a cloud of scandal and allegations, but nothing ever stuck. He was just that good at cleaning up his tracks. In 1995, Diddy was quickly becoming a big name in the industry. He had made it a point to surround himself with people he could depend on. Also back then, Diddy and Suge Knight were close friends until one night. Diddy and his crew from Bad Boy Records were out together with Suge Knight's Death Row Records crew. They were celebrating musician Jermaine Dupri's birthday at Platinum City Club. While in the club, an argument broke out between Diddy's guys and Suge's guys. It got to a point where the police had to be called to escort Diddy and his crew out. Now, after Diddy and his crew got escorted out, police made Suge's crew stay inside the club to avoid further disturbance outside. They waited for Diddy and his crew to leave, and then they escorted Suge's crew. However, little did the police know Diddy and his crew didn't have any plans of leaving that night. As Suge's people were getting into their limo, Diddy's guys circled back and attacked Suge's people. In the commotion, one of Suge's friends, Jake Robles, ended up getting shot and passed on a week later from his injuries. Now, when police questioned Diddy, he denied any involvement in the shooting, but Suge never believed him, and this started one of the biggest rap rivalries ever known. Now, fast forward to 1998, and Diddy had started to develop a reputation of a person who wasn't happy when he didn't have his way. You see, Diddy wasn't happy with the way the production of Nas's Hate Me Now music video in which he appeared was going. In the video, Diddy was depicted as Jesus wearing a crown of thorns and posing as if he was crucified on a cross. At first, Diddy approved the final cut of the video, but he changed his mind before it got released. Diddy wanted the crucifixion scene deleted from the video, but the studio had spent over $14,000 on the video, and they weren't looking to change it. Nas's manager sent a copy of the music video that the studio had approved to MTV. Unfortunately, it still had the scene Diddy wanted deleted, and he was pissed. So one day, in a fit of anger, Diddy barged into Steve Stout's office, who was an executive at Nas's label, and attacked him with a champagne bottle. Diddy got charged with second-degree assault because of that, and when he was asked why he did the things he did, he said, "I basically went to his office, and what happened in his office, I really can't speak about, but I can say this. The way I handled myself in his office was completely wrong, and I've since apologized to Steve about that, and I felt like, I just disappointed myself." Now, this wasn't the last time Diddy would have a run-in with the law. In 1999, news broke that Jennifer Lopez and Diddy had gotten arrested while trying to escape from the police.
It was weird that Puff and Jennifer were at that club, because that was kind of like a very regular hip-hop club. No A-list celebrities go there.
We had a bunch of ballers in there, and a couple of them that were just being extremely antagonistic towards Puffy and his group of friends. From that point forward, alcohol kept flowing and tension kept building.
Puffy and Shine allegedly got into an argument with another partier shortly before 3 a.m. Someone tossed a wad of cash at Combs as a sign of disrespect. Suddenly, all hell broke loose.
As it turns out, Diddy allegedly made Jenny carry for him an illegal weapon into a club in New York on the night they got arrested. Allegedly, while in the club, Diddy got into an altercation and ended up using the weapon that he made Jenny carry for him, and 3 people ended up getting seriously injured. Lopez and Diddy then fled the club and ended up in a police chase through New York that ended up with them getting arrested, and police found a stolen weapon in their car. By this time, a run-in with the police was something new and uncharacteristic for Jennifer, but not for Diddy. So when the press heard of this, they went nuts.
The reason Miss Lopez was dismissed is because if you or I went into a car and sat in the back seat and a gun was found in the front, our cases would be dismissed.
I want to say to you all face to face, I had nothing to do with a shooting that night in a nightclub, nor did Jennifer.
Still, the tabloids kicked into overdrive.
There were guns, there was a shooting, there was a car chase, and Jennifer Lopez was prominently part of this picture. And she suddenly looked like a gangster.
She wasn't in trouble for anything, but you couldn't get away from the media coverage of how she was involved in the situation.
The bad press KO'd a relationship already on the rope.
Anyway, Jenny didn't stay in jail for long after her arrest. Within less than an hour of her arrest, all charges against her were dropped. Diddy, on the other hand, had a lot to answer for. On top of the charges he was already facing, prosecutors alleged that he tried to bribe his driver to take the fall for the weapon in exchange for $50,000. When the case went to trial, Diddy was acquitted of all charges, but one of his associates who was with him that night ended up going to prison for 9 years. Now, Natanya Rubin, one of the people who got injured at the club incident, wasn't particularly happy about Diddy getting acquitted. According to Natanya, she saw Diddy pull out the weapon and use it on her face, but when she told people back then, no one believed her. But according to a recent lawsuit, Diddy bragged afterwards that he actually did what Natanya had been accusing him of.
And you'd see that J-Lo broke up with P. Diddy, you would laugh at that. That's, in other words, it's very disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful.
Made him look bad?
Made him look like a bitch.
Right.
If he go around, he promoted her, he helped her, he took us to a certain level, he gave her that ghetto credibility, and he was like telling her, he believed in her, he told her she can do it. And from the rings, from the chains, and all those type of things. And
Natanya further added that while they were in court, Jennifer Lopez lied about Diddy having the weapon.
I'd like to see the investigation involving you getting shot at that club be reopened?
Absolutely, absolutely. The irony is there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J-Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened, because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury. It needs to be reopened.
Natanya even went as far as to allege that Lopez failed to mention that Diddy allegedly forced her to carry the weapon in the first place. Natanya has admitted that she does understand why Jenny allegedly did what she did, and it was all to protect herself from Diddy, but Diddy never learned from this experience. In 2013, after the VMAs, Diddy got into it with Kendrick after Kendrick said that he was the king of New York on Big Sean's Control. Diddy, who was reportedly very drunk, wasn't too happy with Kendrick and tried to pour a drink on Kendrick to put him in his place, but J. Cole intervened. Diddy and J. Cole Cole got into a fight. Now later when they were asked, both guys denied the fight ever happened, but in J. Cole's 2021 song, Let Go My Hand, he said, "My last scrap was with Puff Daddy, who would have thought it?" Y'all, in 2014, Diddy allegedly got into it again, this time with Drake. There seemed to be some disagreement on who owned the beats to Drake's Era 100. The two allegedly got into an argument outside Live nightclub during DJ Khaled's event for Basel weekend. Words were allegedly exchanged, and reportedly, then blows, with Diddy telling Drake, "You will not disrespect me." In 2015, Diddy got into a fight with then UCLA assistant football C. "My last scrap was with Puff Daddy, who would have thought it," coach Sal Alosi. Diddy was present at UCLA during practice when Sal told Diddy's son Justin that he would not be receiving special treatment because his dad was there. After practice, Diddy and his son went into Sal's office and an argument began, which led to Diddy grabbing Sal. Diddy had to be forcibly removed from the office, but as he was getting removed, he swung a kettlebell at an intern. Now these are just a drop of the questionable things Diddy has gotten into, and we haven't even talked about the rumored things he has done over the years or the mountain of lawsuits he is currently facing. Anyways, what do y'all think about this? Did the industry really keep quiet and not expose Diddy for all these years, or were they just afraid? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't go anywhere because this Diddy story is about to get worse and you don't want to miss it.